Hello guys, and welcome to our first ever podcast series. Of course, it's called Carchatters from the title, and this is 001.
Hello, yes, 001 indeed. The start of hopefully
a successful podcast.
A blossoming relationship.
Yes, and of course, let me introduce you to Aaron from Carb Session. And if you don't know who Aaron is, he basically does YouTube with me. So
yes.
Yeah.
Hello guys.
So yeah, I've known Aaron for quite a while now, and we've blossomed in friendship and working together. So I thought he would be the best person to have on the show. So thank you for joining me.
No, it's a case of he asked around, no one else wanted to do it, so he had to set
it. Yeah, we weren't meant to tell him that, but yeah. Anyway, so today's episode is just going to be an introduction. So the format is really going to be us two, of course, and a guest who's going to be has an influence in what we do. So whether it's they do car YouTubing, or they just do journalism, or they have something to do with cars, just in general,
exactly.
We'll be having someone on. So we're trying to organise people, as you probably believe, it's quite hard. So just getting people and dates and making sure we're both available for it. Yeah. Keep posted on our social medias. But hopefully I've got the first guest. I won't reveal who it will be, just because they might mug me off and not coming on and make myself look like an idiot. But they will be on in due course. But till then, you can put up with me and Aaron for the first episode, and let's kick things off with the ST Performance. That was revealed.
Yes, of course.
That's been revealed Monday from where we're filming now. So
So the Ford Fiesta ST Ford Performance Edition. It has got quite a long name.
It does indeed.
And it's very, very orange. In fact, it's the official orange is deep orange.
Yes, incorrect.
And I suggested that it probably should have been called like Essex Girl Fake Tan Orange. Because it's very, very bold in your face.
It is indeed. So if you haven't seen the colour before, it basically is the same colour as the Heritage RS. Is that correct? Or have they got a different name for that?
Don't quote me. I think they might have a different name, but to my eyes, it's the same colour.
Yeah.
But I think you may be right. I think it is the same orange.
Yeah. So
it's very orange. It's very bright. Yeah. You can't miss it.
Orange is orange, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Or as Ford say, orange is the new black. So
exactly.
Which I kind of copied from a Netflix show.
No. Shall I talk about the car, or did you want to give the facts about what it's got? Or
go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, the Ford Fiesta ST is a fantastic car anyway. Yeah. But the Ford Fiesta ST Ford Performance Edition, why's it got such a very long name? It's very orange, but it's not just about the colour. So it's got new 18-inch alloys, which are lighter. Overall, they save 7 kilograms, I think.
Correct, yeah.
Over the
standard wheels.
Stock alloys. It's also got coilover suspension, which is adjustable.
Which is quite interesting because it's adjustable manually. So it's a coilover system that you can, in the front and the back of the car, you can actually adjust ride height or whatever you want to do. I don't think you can do camber, but they haven't really said much on it. But that's quite interesting because the ST3 as it is has dampers as suspension, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got,
which is controlled through the drive modes. But I don't know how that relates to this
coilovers. I suppose it wouldn't.
Yeah. But again, they haven't really said much more about it.
No. In regards to power, it's not any faster.
No, it's the same. Yeah,
it's the same. It's just a bit lighter. It's got the different suspension,
which is a bit of a shame. I don't know why they keep doing this. So when they used to do special edition Fords like the RS500, the Mark II, they put the Mountune 375 kit on it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, before that came out, you had the 375 kit to go to Mountune and buy.
Yes.
And then from there, every other Ford, every special edition Ford they've done, they've not put a Mountune kit on there, which actually has warranty as well, which is kind of weird. So
the ST200, that had more power, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah, you're right. It did indeed. But I don't know whether it was as powerful as the 215 kit. I'm not too sure on that, but I could be wrong. I'm
trying to think now because it was called ST200 because it had 200 horsepower, didn't it?
Yeah, but no, I think it was mainly because of the overboost thing. It was kind of because with the normal ST180, it had it effectively did have 200 brake horsepower,
with
but with
overage,
legal whatever happened, emissions or whatever
in
it was.
the UK, Ford wasn't allowed to.
Whereas in America, it was 200.
Yes,
so.
yes. I actually did a video with the Mark 7 Fiesta ST, and someone from America actually went, no, it's actually got 200 horsepower.
Yeah,
It has theoretically,
it does,
but in Europe, Ford
it's only 180.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I think you're right on saying that the ST200 did have some sort of increase.
I get your point.
Yeah. So then coming back to the ST Performance, it doesn't have the Mountune 225 kit on it, which doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. But I think that is the ultimate Fiesta ST.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to go to Ford and buy one, obviously you can buy one and modify it yourself. But if you want a kind of off-the-shelf option, that is the ultimate ST.
Yeah.
The official price hasn't been released.
Yeah, so they're saying, this is the thing, so a lot of journalists are saying it's going to be about 26.5, which probably will be the case. But they're comparing it to a standard ST3 with nothing on it, and they're saying it will be over $3,000 from an ST3. Which
so on Ford's press release, they have stated, although the official price hasn't been confirmed, they can confirm it'll be £3,000 more than your bog standard ST3 with no options on it. So what's that, about 25.5, which I love fast Fords, but for a Fiesta ST to pay over £25,000.
Yeah, well,
it comes with a lot of kit. So
it does, yeah.
As well as it
comes with the fact that it's only going to be 600 made, so
only for the UK, by the way. So if you're in, I know, Germany or
anywhere across the world,
Australia, America,
America.
Tough luck, you won't get one, not unless you import it. But I can't really see that.
I don't see why
happening. As well as the bold paint and the coilovers, you get the Ford Performance Pack as standard. So that gives you your limited slip diff, your shift lights for, what am I doing? That's not flappy paddles, but it gives you shift lights for when you change gear, gives you launch control. It gives you the B&O Play sound system. Now, what I find interesting about the Ford Fiesta ST
is it's different on the ST2 and the 3, isn't it?
Yeah, so the B&O Play sound system, which I really like, I think it's a good sound system. It's standard on the ST2, but optional on the ST3.
Yeah, it's quite strange.
What the actual beep? It's madness. So, but yeah, on the Ford Performance Edition, you get the B&O Play sound system, and you get the LED headlights, which I really like on the Fiesta, because they have a different headlights around. They kind of have like a dark grey effect to them in the actual kind of headlight housing. And the kind of bezel, whatever you want to call it.
And also as well on the, sorry to interrupt, the ST Performance, you get the LED lights as well, which is another optional extra on the ST3. Yeah. So when people are going to go, oh, it's just a limited edition Fiesta with some paint on it, but I think people kind of don't understand that when a special Ford product comes out, it is special no matter what, really. Especially with the numbers.
Well, put it this way: my wife was looking on, I think it was eBay. There was a Ford Focus RS 500 on there. You know, Chris mentioned it a few moments ago. I don't know what mileage it had done. I imagine it's near mint. It's yours for no less than £65,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
I think it might have actually been 65,500.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, fantastic car, but over £65,000 for a fast Ford.
And it was probably about 28 when it was new, something like that, around that probably.
Give or take, But they go for, if you talk about Escort RS Cosworths or Sierra Cosworths, they go for even more money.
It's blood money, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just crazy. So if you're watching this and you own a classic fast Ford that's in good condition,
we're very
keep
jealous.
hold of it, because the price is only going up.
Yeah, it is indeed. But I think for me personally, if I had the opportunity to buy something like that, whether it was an RS500 or a Heritage RS or whatever it was, I wouldn't be looking at the value of it going up or whatever, because quite frankly, what car have you ever owned that's appreciated?
I haven't.
Neither have I. So it's kind of, would it go up in value or would it not? It's a risk as it is anyway. But I think it helps more because it's so exclusive. There's only a limited amount of numbers of them.
The way how I see it is, unless you're a car collector or a car trader, or a car, you know, like an investor,
yeah,
I don't think you should buy a car just because it's going to appreciate in value.
Yeah, because it kind of then comes into a point where
you won't
if
drive
you're
it.
yeah,
What's
exactly,
the point?
yeah, and you ends up being sat in a garage not
It's
doing
an
much.
ornament.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really agree with that. But
No, I don't.
But yes, so I found out that there's only people can go and put an allocation down for them, but there's only 7 allocations in participating Ford stores. So you've got, I don't know if people don't know, Ford have done this thing where you've got Ford stores and then you've got normal Ford dealers. So you might have a local Ford dealer that's quite relatively small and they only sell like the bog standard KAs or whatever, and then you've got the big flashy Ford stores, and I think there's quite a few around the UK. It's quite a big amount of number.
There's bound to be 1 or 2 in Essex.
Yeah, so for my one, the nearest is in Dunton, which is right by the technical centre. So they have an allocation of 7 cars in each dealer. And of course, yes, there's 600. And it's safe to say, I'm one of them.
No.
I am indeed.
I almost swore. F off.
I am indeed. Round of applause.
I don't believe you. And guys, we're not acting.
No.
Yeah, this isn't some YouTube clickbait rubbish.
So if people follow me on Instagram, was it yesterday or day before? Day before yesterday, which is going to make no sense to you guys.
You was at a full dealership.
I put up an Instagram story of me at a Ford dealership, basically saying I've done a madness, but I didn't disclose what I did, and some people actually guessed it because it was quite fresh to when they released it as on the press. But Aaron messaged me and he went, "What have you done?" And I went, "I can't tell you that because we're filming today and I want it to be a surprise." And here we are.
It is a surprise. This is not acting.
So yeah, I am one of the 7 in Dunton to have an allocation for a Fiesta ST Performance.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, I am indeed. I would get the order format, but I haven't got it with me.
Okay, so Chris, when are you going to tell me that this is all just a ruse?
It isn't indeed. It isn't. It's all the truth. And I'm quite glad I told him now because the reaction's priceless.
I'm very jealous.
Yeah. So
I hate you so much right now.
So how it worked?
This podcast is over.
So yeah, I got my Focus RS about 2.5 years ago. So I dealt with. So what happened was when I went and got the RS, I wanted to get it at a place where I could kind of get regular updates about the car, and hence it being right by Dunton, they do sometimes actually get involved with Dunton. So that was my reason for buying it more than anything at Dunton itself. So anyway, I dealt with my sales guy, Andrew Lane, brilliant guy. And obviously, yeah, we dealt with the RS and it took about 8 months to come. It was insane. It was mental. But it was worth it when it came. I was probably one of the first in the country to get one. I mean, there was a few people ahead of me, but it was quite fresh.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to ask you, when is it due to be coming?
So, because there's not too much information about the Performance.
The press release said that first deliveries would be happening in September.
Yeah, so that's pretty much roughly what I've been told by my sales guy Andrew as well.
Hang on a minute, how have you put your order in? Because the press release also said orders were opening in June.
No, so that's not right. No, that's not right.
That's interesting.
So obviously the Ford stores got told about it on the Monday.
Yeah.
And then I think I've called Andrew on Wednesday.
This sounds like a Craig David song.
Yeah. Wednesday. So yeah, I called him on Wednesday, and he said, "Yeah, come in for the day after, and put an order down basically, and I put a deposit down on it." So yeah, but obviously on the press launch it says pricing to be confirmed. So they're finding out prices in May. So roughly, they think it's going to be about 26.5. So, but they don't know whether that's going to be more or it's going to be less than that. So
yeah, I would like to think it'd be less. If it's any more than that,
yeah,
then that's kind of like Hyundai i30N money.
Yeah. So
well, not quite, but yeah.
Yeah, because of what Hyundai is about, probably.
But obviously, I'm not comparing that car to. I'm not comparing the Fiesta ST to i30M because they're different categories, different power output. So, yeah, I'm just talking about price.
And
it's a loose comparison.
And people are going to either hate or be positive about it. Oh, why are you going to buy an orange Fiesta ST? Well, I actually wanted to go and get a Fiesta ST, and when I saw this come up as an opportunity, I thought, well, it's a special Fiesta.
Why
There's
not?
only 600 of them.
Mate, you only live once.
I want an ST anyway. Why not?
They're fantastic cars.
So, and I actually got told that the current wait for a normal ST3, whether it's a 1, 2 or 3, is 5 months. So from now till when the Performance comes out, that's about 5-6 months. So it's bang on.
Well, if anything, you probably get your Performance before some people get their ST3s or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a no-brainer to me, really. Plus, it's a special car. I've always wanted to own a special Ford, so now's the opportunity. So
deserves a high five. There we are.
So yeah.
Like I said, I didn't know that. I had a feeling Chris had ordered something, but I don't know what that something was. I was expecting him to say, "Oh, I've got a full Focus ST line or something." with a diesel engine.
Yeah, I could have
economy.
I could have done that. I probably would have wanted it when I get the Performance and I'm spending loads of money on fuel. I probably want a diesel.
So now, how on earth are you going to maintain 4 cars?
That's a good question. I haven't thought of that.
4 cars.
I'm not going to say that I went and put money down in haste, because that's not the right word to say. I've kind of done it as a YOLO thing almost. Just like, what's the point of sitting around just not doing anything and not enjoying yourself? You might as well. As I said, I wanted to own a special Ford.
The thing is, if you've got the money, why not?
Yeah, well, I don't know whether I got the money or not. That's another complete story. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where the opportunities come, and I'll only kick myself if I don't do it. So,
wow.
But because obviously
kudos.
Because again, there's the Heritage RS. That was something that I would have loved to have.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money.
But they only had allocated one to each Ford store, so it was literally, you would have to be on it straight away and be perfectly happy financially to go and do it.
The thing is, how much were they going for? Is it
40? 40. So
I was going to say 38, but it's more.
No, it's 40.
Wasn't it over 40? Wasn't it like 43?
Maybe with extras, yeah. But I think it was based at 40.
Yeah, but
because I mean, again, with the ST Performance, that 26.5 doesn't include stuff like sunroof. So if you want a sunroof, whether they're going to spec a sunroof on it, I'd imagine they would. It's not going to be any different to them from a normal car, is it? So
that's true.
But
are you
stuff
gonna,
like
are you going to spec a sunroof?
No, because it's a car that's it's a car that you're going to use on track more than anything. So a sunroof adds weight. It's kind of that stupid cliche thing. What's the point?
Yeah.
So
I've never had a sunroof.
No, I've never really seen the point in it. We never have the weather for it. So what's the point?
Yeah, it says
the guy with an MX5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
mate, I drive roofs down pretty much all the time.
But speaking of the MX5, how's it going?
Well, it's been fantastic. I've owned it for almost a year. So for those of you that don't know my channel or don't know me, I have a Mark 1 Mazda MX5. If I'm going to be really technical and nerdy about it, it's a Unos Roadster because it was imported from Japan. I've had that almost a year now, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say MX5, oh, it's a hairdresser's car, oh, they're slow. Yeah, okay, they're not fast cars, but at the same time, they're not slow. It's all about how you drive them. If they are, of course, naturally aspirated. Yeah. Therefore, the engines love to be revved.
Yeah.
You really have to take it by the scruff of the neck. If you're going to change up at 4,000 revs, of course it will feel slow because you haven't got to the power yet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's like the EP3 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, and they're made for handling. It's all about the balance and the purity and all that cliche mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic cars, and if you are someone that hates on an MX5, try driving one. Yeah. If you still hate it, fine. At least you've tried it. You know what they say. You can't knock something until you've tried it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I've had my Mark 1 almost a year,
and it's safe to say that they've done something similar to Ford, haven't they? They've announced their 30-year anniversary of the MX5, haven't they? Which is orange.
Which is also bright orange. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what they called it. I won't say they called it bright orange, but maybe not.
And probably I'm not as clued up as you on what they've done differently. Maybe probably nothing at all apart from the colour.
The things I wrote the article about it quite a few months. Well, quite
because it was probably about maybe a month ago, wasn't it?
No, longer than that.
Oh right.
We're now April. This was like late January, early February, I think. But I don't think the changes are that massive. You're really testing my memory bank now. and I'm failing. But Mazda has recently released the 30th anniversary edition of the MX5, which is of course the Mark IV. If you want to be really nerdy, it's the ND chassis. Yes, I'm that guy. I'm really nerdy.
I really like the Mark IV MX5. I think it's a really good car.
They're great cars. There's a lot to like about them.
Yeah.
What I like is Mazda hasn't strayed too far from the original ethos, and I think they learnt what kind of went wrong with the Mark III or the NC chassis. The NC, the Mark III, it was a bit too heavy, a bit too wallowy. I've not driven one, but
you can see, you can just neither have I, and you can tell. That fact.
So obviously it's the lightest MX5 since the Mark 1.
Yes.
But of course you get your mod cons. So dependent on which grade you go for, you get navigation and you get smartphone connectivity.
Speakers in your ears as well in the seats. That's pretty cool.
I've got that in mine.
That's pretty cool. I do like that. That's quite nice. I do like that. And they're pretty well priced as well. I think they're about 16, aren't they? 16 grand, something like that.
No, Chris, dear boy, no.
Or am I mistaken for the 1.5 one?
So the 1.5 starts from about, I think it's about 18,000, 19,000. And I think the most expensive one gets to about 25,000.
And that's the Sport Recaro, isn't it? They did the Sport Recaro version.
The Sport Recaro.
Or is that limited as well?
That was limited. That's not made anymore. I think the range-topping one is the I think it's the GT Nav Plus.
Right, okay.
But again,
that's with the 2 litre engine, isn't it?
Yeah. 2 litre engine is what I'd probably go for because you get the extra oomph and you also get the bigger brakes.
Yeah.
I think
because I only test drove the 2 litre. I never drove the 1.5. But a lot of people said that the 1.5 was actually quite nice considering it.
It is. The 1.5 has got a nicer engine tone. It's a bit more raspy, whereas the 2 litre didn't sound that inspiring. However, for the facelifted Mark IV, I say facelifted,
there's no difference, is there?
No. To look at visually, nothing. I mean, nothing has changed.
Which is kind of the reason it's called facelift, but in Mazda's terms...
Yeah, but Mazda saw there wasn't anything wrong with the style. I really like it.
Yeah.
It is a little bit divisive.
I think the front grew on me. After, it's like anything that comes out new. It was kind of...
Yeah, I think the headlights and the fact that this MX5 looks a bit more angry.
Yeah.
Than the predecessors, I think that kind of it divided people. I really like it.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
But the facelift, they've made changes to the exhaust system to make it sound a bit better.
Yeah,
it's got a little bit more power as well, albeit not much.
Is this before or after the hardtop? This facelift, facelift.
The hardtop that was sold when the Mark IV first came out. Well, not when it first came out.
It was a little bit after.
The RF came out a few months after. But the 1.5 is the one to go for if you want to stick to the original pure ethos of balance and handling in the MX5. It feels a more balanced car
because it's never been about power. It's never been about being a quick car, is it?
Exactly. But the 2 litres does give you the extra oomph. It gives you bigger brakes as well. It gives you, from memory again, my memory's really bad today. I must admit my brain's all over the place. I've been viewing properties today and I've been here, there and everywhere. I've come all the way to Essex from Worthing, so it's been an action-packed day. But the 2 litre comes with a limited slip diff.
Yeah.
But I don't think the 1.5 does. So really, for a more focused driver's car, you want the 2 litre, but the 1.5 does give you more balanced handling setup.
So you can't spec the 1.5 with a diff, or is it?
Not as far as I'm aware, but I've got a strong feeling I'm wrong. But from memory, no, I don't think you can.
Okay.
But if I'm wrong, guys, I do apologise. I'm having to do this from memory. It's been quite some time since I've read up on the.
Yeah, because it's I've never driven a Mark 1 MX5. That's for start.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. So the only MX5 I drove was I test drove a 2 litre. Ages and ages ago. It was like when they first came out, and then I was at SMMT last year, and I test drove the RF version. And that was quite nice. I did like that.
I like the RF version, but I do have a few problems with it. A, it's heavier because obviously
it would be
electronic folding roof, but it does look beautiful.
It does, yeah.
When the roof's up, it looks like an MX5.
Especially when it comes down as well. It's like almost like a spider, like the spider versions of like when Porsche made a Boxster.
It's kind of like a Targa, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I've got 2, maybe 3 problems with it. The roof only goes down at a speed up to 6 miles per hour, which is walking pace.
So you almost have to just stop.
You pretty much have to stop to put the roof up or down, which I find really, really annoying. B, when you have the roof down, the kind of bulkhead for the kind of the B pillar, I suppose, is a massive blind spot. Is this from the back? Yeah. So you can't really see anything over your shoulder. Obviously, you've got wing mirrors, of course, but you kind of do that, and you can't. It's not really good for. It does create blind spots. And C, because it's not like the traditional MX5 where the roof flat goes all the way down. No, because you still have the kind of B pillars, I suppose, that stay in place. B pillar, C pillar, but the rear of the car, they stay in place because there's more of a Targa design. And C, the kind of bulkhead, when you do have the roof down, it just catches wind like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, I read about that. There's quite a big wind noise with it. Yeah, because it seems to suck in wind. Yeah. And I just felt I felt like a weird pressure in my right ear where the wind's kind of blowing in, kind of being whooshed all about. Yeah. But the RF is a beautiful car. But if I were to go and buy a Mark IV, it'd be the soft top because it's lighter. Obviously, you want to save as much weight as you can in those cars, and the soft top can be operated, really easily. It's one click, boom, bang. You can do it at any speed, and you don't have to stop to do it. Yeah. Whereas in the RF, you do virtually have to stop, which I find annoying. It's a little bit more money, if I'm mistaken. Yeah, the RF is more money as well, so the soft top's cheaper. But the RF does look good, particularly if you get it in Soul Red. Yeah. But again, when I drove it, at SMMT. You don't get the car for very long. No, and it's about 20 minutes. Yeah, it's literally like a rushed. Yeah. So you don't really get to kind of learn the car's characteristics, what it's like, and where it was at Millbrook Proving Ground. It's not the most fantastic places to go to learn a car. It's a good place, but sometimes the marshals can be a little bit over-eager. It's a private road. Yes, it still has a speed limit. Yeah, exactly. 50. I mean, I like the what do you call it? The bowl. No, it's the hill circuit. That's the one. Yeah, you go up all these hills, and one hill is quite shallow, and then all of a sudden you go down this big ass one. It's quite fun. Interesting fact: do you know in Casino Royale they filmed it there, didn't they? They did. So Joe and Daniel Craig, the stunt driver, rolls the Aston Martin. That's on that DBS section. Yeah, that's on the Millbrook Proving Ground. Yeah. And they film a lot of stuff there actually. And even more interestingly, the DBS. Because they couldn't get it to roll, because it had such a rigid... Yeah, they had to put something underneath the car, a little cannon in it. To keep it up. So before, obviously, he was going to run Eva Green over, the cannon went in, and that's what caused the car to roll. Shoot up, yeah. And it actually, it inadvertently broke the world record for the most rolls by a car. Oh, did it? Yeah, it beat Top Gear's record. I think Top Gear's record was 11, I think they did it in... But does it deserve that record, though? Because it was kind of a man-made flip, not... Oh, now that is a good question. It is, isn't it? That is a good question. But, I think they rolled it 13 times. I think even in the actual film, you kind of see it. I don't know from I think you'd have to have very eagle eyes, but I haven't seen it in a while. But no. And during the airport scene in Casino Royale, yes, that's filmed at the Top Gear test track. Is it? Wow. Yeah. So it's not filmed in Miami. No. Damn it. No. I like Miami. That's ruined my hopes and dreams now. Yeah, but we've digressed. We have. But let's talk MX5. What shall we talk about next? How long have we been filming for? I don't probably know. A long time. Probably, good thing is I don't have to edit this. He does. Yes. So I'm going to keep talking until he has to knock me out or gag me or whatever. I'm not going to gag you, mate. Oh, that's a pity. So you're not a Formula 1 fan, are you? So you say that again? You're not a Formula 1 fan, are you? So yes, get to talk about Formula 1. Oh, so a lot of people will probably be watching this and be an F1 fan, so you can shut up. Do you like Formula 1? I do, I love it. So at the minute, this weekend marks the 1000th race in Grand Prix, or in Formula 1. Because in fact, I found out that technically it isn't the 1000th
Formula One race, because when they first started, they wanted to kind of get more of an international appeal for Formula One, so they went over to America and did some IndyCar races.
Hang on a minute, what do you mean a more international appeal for F1? It's one of the biggest sports in the world.
But not at the start of it, it wasn't.
What, all the way back in whenever it was?
Yeah, 1950 something.
Oh yeah, obviously it wasn't going to be an international sport then.
And do you know where the first race was?
No, I don't care.
Silverstone.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, I won't talk about it because he'll probably fall asleep, and he won't be a very good co-host if he falls asleep. But I've just watched, from the time this video, qualifying happened today, and Bottas put it on pole, and it was literally like milliseconds off Hamilton, which is just insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
So yeah, we'll digress away from Formula One and talk about our first cars.
Yes, before we do that, I just need to put my camera back on. Even my camera got bored about Formula One. It turned itself off.
So yeah, first cars. Oh my God.
You know what?
Seems like an eternity ago.
I don't even know what your first car was. We've never really spoken about it.
No, we haven't. So it's a good topic to talk about.
So what's your first car?
So my first car, when I was 17, I'm going to be 26 this year, was a Peugeot 106 Zest 2.
A what?
A Zest 2.
A Zest 2?
Yeah. Don't know what that means.
Was it a lemon?
No, it was far from it. It was blue. And it was a 1.1 and it had about 2 brake horsepower. But it was the most fun car ever.
The thing is though, I think first cars, they can often be awful, but at the same time they can often be brilliant.
Yes, I know.
And having your first car, it's like losing your virginity.
Yeah, because it gives you.
Do it once.
Yeah, because it gives you that's your first point of freedom.
Yeah.
So whatever you used to do beforehand, you used to
get the bus or walk.
Yeah, exactly, and it made doing things harder.
Yeah.
Whereas when you got a car, it just made things easier. Like you could just go down a corner and go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds stupid, but like that was a big thing to me.
Doing
Probably even yourself probably. So yeah, that was my first car.
How long did you have it?
I had it for about a year, and unfortunately, I got hit in a college car park.
Okay.
So what happened was, I was coming into the car park, loads of speed bumps, so I couldn't speed. So I was coming around a corner and...
Well, hang on a minute, what do you mean you couldn't speed?
So the story...
Of course you couldn't speed, it's a 106, you just said it had a 1.1 litre engine.
So the story was
Can't
that,
speed in that.
coming around the corner, and there was a guy reversing, but at the time when he was reversing, he was kind of stopped. So he was sort of halfway reversing and then kind of just like dithered. So I continued going, and he decided to start continuing to reverse. And by that time, he's not looking where he's going, and he hasn't seen me, and he's decided to go right into the side of my car and literally dent the whole front passenger door. So at the time, I was in college, there used to be a caretaker, and he used to manage the car park. Why he did it, I don't know. And he had a thing for Fords. He just loved Fords. I don't know why. Well, I do kind of know why. But yeah, so he kind of favoured the guy straight away. And he goes, you came in speeding, blah, blah, blah. And the funny thing is, I had a black box. So if you don't know what a black box is, it's basically this little GPS thing that sits in your car, and it allows first-time people who learn to drive and then pass their test to get cheaper insurance, which is kind of a laughing joke, really, because it doesn't really make it cheap compared to what I pay for insurance now.
No.
So, but at the time of the black box, when I got it, I was one of the first in the country to get it. And if you search long and hard with my real name, you can actually find an article in the Telegraph with me with a massive bowl cut haircut.
Really?
Yes.
You've never told me this.
I wish I didn't. So yeah, I was in the Telegraph, and I was one of the first people.
Have you seen this man?
Yeah. And it's literally me sitting on my bonnet of my Peugeot, basically doing a cheesy thumbs up with my bowl haircut.
So you were happy that you got a black box?
Yeah.
I think you must be the history. You must be the only person in history to be happy about getting a black box.
Well, it's funny that, because I got paid for it, so I wasn't really too...
Oh, how much did you get paid for it?
I think it was about £200, something like that.
So
for a woman to come over.
So that's double what your car was worth.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And the funny thing was, I put my mum bought me a private plate, and the private plate was about £600-700, and the car was only about £500, so the plate was worth more than the car. So yeah, so back to the demise of my 106. So anyway, the door got caved in, and that was it pretty much. There was no damage to his car.
Yeah.
How, I don't know, but it was only a slow impact. It was like 2 miles an hour, but it literally caved the door in. Like, it looked like I put someone's head through the door. It was that bad. So anyway, being insurance, the car was valued at like £500. So the insurance said, look, it's going to cost more to fix it, so we've got to write off.
Yeah, of course.
And that was the sad ending to my first car. And to this day, I still would have it.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I think I would.
That's fair enough.
Because it's not something that you'd go, when you get your next car, you're not going to go and sell it, because you're not really going to get much money for it. So you might as well just keep it. And so, yeah.
So my first car was a 2001 Fiat Punto ELX, which when it was sold brand new, I think it would have been one of the mid-range models. Yeah. It had electric windows.
Wow.
It had central locking.
Oh.
It also had, you're going to love this, a cassette player.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pinnacle.
You should have seen the bitches coming round. Yeah, babe, you want to hear about my cassette player? Yeah. I can pop an Old Now album in there. How's that? Spice Girls. Spice up. Like,
did you have to go to the front of the car and put like a stick in it and then turn it to get it started?
No. As an optional extra, I had a turnkey ignition.
Oh, bloody hell.
But yeah, that was my first car. I paid £900 for it. It had done from memory, about 48,000 miles. So it's priced pretty well. The bodywork did have quite a lot of dents and scrapes on it, but it's your first car. You don't really want, when I see people go out and buy a new car,
I know.
First
You're like, oh my God.
What are you actually doing? You're going to scrape it, you're going to bump it, you're going to reverse it into someone else's car and then drive off. So what's the point of buying a brand spanking new car? It's your first car. I think
it kind of takes away the new car experience, like getting your first car as well. It kind of takes the experience away.
I think your first car should be a bit of a dog anyway. Yeah. It's a life experience. I think the official colour of my Punto was, I think it was called metallic grey. It's really uninspiring. And this kind of blue, kind of velour, kind of. It's kind of fabric seats, but they felt a bit like velour.
So that was exactly like my 106. It had they're like fabric, they're really nice, comfy seats actually.
Yeah, the seats on the Punto were lovely actually.
Because I don't know if you've ever driven like a Saxo VTR or whatever.
I haven't actually.
So they used kind of like almost similar seats. And honestly, they're like sitting on memory foam. It's really cool.
I had a whopping 1.2 litre engine.
So 100 cubic metres more than me. Wow.
Yeah.
God, balling, mate. And correct me if I'm wrong, you got your late bloomer and you passed, didn't you?
Yes, I passed at 21. I would have started lessons at 17. My mum was like, look, I can pay for 10 lessons for your 17th birthday.
Yeah.
And I chose not to do it because what am I going to do after 10 lessons? I didn't have the money to keep going. And even if I did pass my test, I wouldn't have been able to afford a car, let alone run it. So it was pointless, and at that time of my life, I didn't need a car.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't pass until I was 21. That's really the earliest opportunity I had.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to my Punto, I had that for about 9 months, and the reason why I got rid of it is because as
a pile of shit.
Yeah, that. But as you would expect from a Fiat, otherwise known as fix it again tomorrow, it did go wrong quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I was like, if I keep going on like I am, I'm going to spend more on repairs than I did on the car.
Yeah.
So I actually went out and bought a brand new car, albeit on finance. It was a 2012 Renault Clio from a dealership near to me called Wilson's, which is well known in my area. And they were going to take my Fiat Punto as part exchange and a deposit for my finance. A very small deposit, but a deposit nonetheless. Week before, the Clio was meant to come and I was going to hand them my Punto. The power steering went on my Punto, and my word, trying to parallel parking that car gave me some idea of what it would be like to stir concrete.
Yeah, didn't miss arm day.
I don't need to go to the gym today.
No.
So I told Wilson's, because obviously it would have been quite clear. The moment they went to park the car up, they go, Is it meant to be like that? Yeah.
Probably think the steering lock's on.
Exactly. So they obviously said, look, we're still to take it off your hands, but we're going to offer you, I think they said £200.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'll be honest with you, I think I can get more for it if I sold it privately.
Yeah.
So I did. And bearing in mind, I live in South London, a chap came all the way from Devon to buy my clapped out Fiat Punto with no power steering. And I full disclosure on the advert, I said, look, it's got this problem, it's got that problem, it's got no power steering. Yeah, it came all the way from Devon, bearing in mind the amount of Fiat Puntos you have in the used car market. I don't know about now, but at the time, the used car market was flooded with them.
Yeah.
I thought, why have you come all the way from Devon?
Was his name Tony?
No.
Would have been good though, wouldn't it?
And I said to him, out of interest, what's your reason for buying this car? It's an absolute shed. He said to me, oh, I'm buying it for my son. It's a gift.
Oh, God, his dad must hate him.
Oh, my God, you must hate your son. But yeah, apparently it's going to be his runaround to get to university. So if you're watching this and you own my Fiat Punto registration plate X812FHT, I'm really sorry. Your dad bought you a dog. I do apologise.
Or a new piece of gym equipment.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you. Your father hates you and you're probably adopted.
Oh.
But yeah, that's my first car. But the thing is, when it did work, when it worked that one day, it was actually quite good fun because it didn't have a lot of power. It's got quite skinny tyres, and it was quite a light car because it didn't have the touch screens.
And again, this is where we come back to people buying new car, people buying their first car as a new car. Yeah. It's a progression, isn't it? You go from your first car,
which is mostly crap.
Yeah, and then you kind of look forward to getting something that's better. Whereas if you get something that's better from the start, you kind of always trying to progress, and it ends up being harder.
You get your first car and you think, maybe just one day I'll have a car that's mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to just downright crap.
Yeah, exactly right.
But yeah, do I miss it? No, but on its day, when it worked, it was quite good fun, I must admit.
Yeah.
No.
Second car? What was your second car?
The Renault Clio.
Oh, of course it was, yeah.
Yeah.
My second car, I got to remember this now, because I had a really bad car history, not in terms of cars I bought, but it was more the ownership of having problems with them as a factor.
How many cars have you owned?
So my second car was a Volkswagen Polo.
Okay.
It was the one with the 4 spotlights at the front of it. So I've got to remember the mark.
Oh, yes, I know which one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had that. I didn't have it for very long because the engine decided to go bang. Plain and simple. And then, onto my third car, was another Polo. So I didn't learn my lesson. So this one was the one after that.
I think I know which one you mean.
So it's got the big fat lights at the front, and it kind of does like a semicircle underneath it. You know where I'm going?
I know which one you mean.
I think it's the 9N2.
If you say so.
If I'm going to be geeky. Yeah. Well, try to be at least anyway.
Yeah.
And same fate happened to that. The engine decided to shit itself.
I actually learnt to drive in a Polo.
So after that happened to that Polo, because it was just constantly in the garage and was just spending thousands on the thing. It kind of put me off buying cars from private owners because it was.
So it's weird because all the cars I've had from private owners.
I mean, actually, let me correct that. It's kind of a learning curve to it because I mean,
which private owners to trust.
Yeah, it was kind of when I went to look at cars because at the time I was young. It was kind of just an eye thing. I saw it and I was like, I like it, I want it. Yeah. So it was you never kind of looked into the car any more than just going, oh, I like it, I want it.
I made that mistake with my Renault Clio, just briefly, because I know I don't want to cut across your story, but before I got the Renault Clio, I test drove a Peugeot 208 not too long after it first came out, and the armchairs, the seats were really comfortable. They were like armchairs, but it was all undone by quite a jiggly ride. Yeah. And when I drove the Clio, which was almost straight afterwards, in comparison, that felt a lot better. Yeah. But when I got the Clio, I quickly became bored with it, and it just had no power.
It's a very dull car, a Clio, isn't it?
Yeah,
especially
but I rushed into it because I passed for finance, thinking I wouldn't. I thought, I passed for finance on a new car.
And that's a big thing to buying a car when you get approved for finance. Like I know loads of my mates that have done it.
You rush into it.
Yeah, you rush into it, and it's
if
the
you get
worst
passed
thing.
for car finance, don't rush into it.
Exactly.
Put some proper thought into it.
Because it's something that you get stuck with.
Yeah, because you have to commit to it.
And the problem with car finance is that most of the time people buy a PCP, so you get stuck into a heavy balloon payment at the end.
Yeah.
And it makes it so. And I'd imagine you put in a big deposit. Or
no, because it's my Punto, wasn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So my deposit in total was £350.
Yeah.
So a measly deposit.
So, what were your monthly payments like?
£230.
Oh, okay, so it's not too bad.
It was affordable.
Yeah.
But obviously,
you trying to get out of it, it's just a nightmare. Cause most likely that car got into negative equity as soon as it left
it quickly became upside down. So I wanted to get rid of it after just 3 months. 3 months. And I ended up being stuck with it for 2.5 years. And the way I got out of it, which full disclaimer, I do not recommend this. I got another car finance to pay that car finance and to get another car. Would I do it again? No, but I was that desperate. I thought I have to get out of this Clio because it's.
So how long was left in the Clio?
1.5 years.
Oh wow!
But I could have waited, but I was impatient.
Yeah.
Would I do it again? No, but in hindsight.
But I mean, from when you probably did car finance, which was quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
There's new laws now that stop car dealers doing certain things to entice you into it. I mean, they're still going to sell you car finance because at the end of the day, not really many people are putting cash down on cars anymore.
I reckon, I don't know the official stat, but I reckon the amount of people that buy cars on finance, it has to be like 90%.
Yeah,
maybe even 95%, who knows? It's a very large number. Yeah. So that's why sometimes when you talk about the price of a car, it almost seems irrelevant because it's monthly payments.
Exactly right.
But anyway, we've digressed. You were talking about your Polo situation.
So after my second Polo went bang, I decided to go to an actual manufacturer car dealer, which was Ford, and this is where I got my Ford Fiesta Zetec S, and to this day I miss it. It's such a wicked car.
They're good cars. A friend of mine, I don't know whether he still got it, but he had a Mark 7. So
that's exactly what I had. Yeah.
1 litre EcoBoost, not too sure which power output. I think he had the 125 horsepower one, I think.
Yeah. So I had the pre-facelift. So 2011, I think mine was. Yeah.
I think he may have. Yeah, I think he may have had. No, he had a
lot newer, weren't they?
But even though it wasn't an ST, it still moved. It was a quick car. Yeah. Okay, maybe not quick, but it was nippy.
Yeah, of course it is.
I was impressed, and it wasn't modified in any shape or form.
So that's all down to the turbo. It just makes it such a difference because it's pretty much the same power because mine was 100. I think it's 118. So you just call it 120, and the difference compared to them was just mind blowing. It's insane. It's like it's had a remap. It's insane.
It was a good. I really enjoyed it actually.
So I had my Fiesta for quite a while, about 2.5, almost 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of stuff to it. I took it to Mountune. I put their MP 140 kit on it. So it took the power up to 140 brake.
Yeah.
And it's wicked because they basically have a form of VTEC, got variable camming in them. So at the higher end of the revs, you get a little bit more power. And it's wicked. You can hear the change of the car.
Oh, has it got the variable valve
VVT in it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the characteristics of VTEC almost.
Yeah.
That included obviously the remap from Mountune, exhaust, and the induction kit. The exhaust was the best thing ever.
Pardon me.
So my mate bought one from someone privately, and it was the first one that Mountune mapped. They used it as a press car with Ford.
Oh.
Because at the time, those Fiestas, you could actually buy them from factory with the Mountune kit on it. So when they got built, they put the Mountune kit on them and then they delivered to you as a customer. That was the first one. So he ended up buying it, and then it just literally every time he came to college with it, I loved it. It was awesome. The sound of it, it was just wicked. So I ended up getting it. I think I paid about $8,500 for it at the time, and it had about 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it. So and that literally stuck with me for a long time, and then nothing went wrong with it. I just ended up selling it and moving on, which I kind of regretted at the time. but I wanted to just move forward.
I think whenever you sell any car, any decent car that you've got some form of attachment to, there's always going to be a bit of regret, isn't there? Because not only this is going to sound really soppy and sentimental, but not only are you selling a car, but you're selling memories with it.
Yeah, of course you are. Part of your life, isn't it? Part of your life.
Just to kind of help segue back to my car history, after I dumped the Clio, I had a very negative experience with a dealer, but it's a very long story. I don't want to bore you guys. But I got a 2006 Seat Ibiza FR, which I still have, and it's funny because I will be looking to sell that soon. And my dad has been using it as his daily for quite a few weeks now, a few months, and I might actually sell it to my dad.
Oh right,
potentially.
That's the first you told me about, because you've obviously said about selling it. That's interesting. Because
I was going to suggest it to my dad because he's looking to get another car because his wife and my stepmom and him, they work in different locations and they work at different times, so they don't need two cars, but it's good to have two cars. And he was thinking about leasing one. But so I didn't think he'd be interested in buying my car because it's quite expensive to run because it's quite thirsty.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
So I never recommended it to him, but he actually approached me and said, "How much are you looking for it?" So I might strike a deal with him. I'll lose a bit of money on it, but
you're not going to rip off your dad, are you?
No, of course I'm not. No. So I might sell it to my dad.
Yeah.
But that'd be quite good because it
makes life easier as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know who I'm selling it to. My dad, who knows the car inside out pretty much.
It's probably the best way to sell a car, isn't it? Give it to someone for a few weeks, let them have it.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously it stays within the family because as much as there are parts about the car I don't like, it's the first car I actually enjoyed driving.
Yeah.
So if my dad does buy it, which he hasn't confirmed because he has to make sure that it's right for his situation because he may be moving office, and if he does, he may not need the car.
Yeah.
But if I do sell it to him, I'd be quite happy with that. And if you're wondering why I'm not just going to give it to him for free, it's because I do need a bit of money from the car. As much as I love my dad, he's not having it for free.
So
I will strike a deal with him.
So you're obviously looking at replacing.
Yes, I've got a very strong. I've got a strong kind of idea in my mind of what I have. I have as well. Yeah. But
I've had no influence on it.
I'm not going to tell you guys what it is.
I think I don't. Have I had an influence on you getting it? Probably have, haven't I?
To a degree, but
you've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah, I'd say my wife's my wife's been more of an influence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be revealed when I buy it, but that won't be for a few weeks. But it'll probably be near autumn. I'd say that the car actually comes into my ownership. Well, not a particular car, but the car I'm looking at. But I'm going to stop there because I will just end up blurting it out. Because, but yeah, so I've still got the Ibiza. I then bought a Mark II Mazda MX5. MX5.
God rest his soul.
Yes, MX5 Sport, which is limited edition, not to be confused with the Mark 2.5 Sport, which wasn't a limited edition. So I've gone nerdy again. You've probably glazed over, just sat there comatose. That was a fantastic car. I've always wanted to own an MX5. That was good because it had the body kit from factory. It had the limited slip diff.
Yeah.
It also had, I think they had a lightened flywheel as well. It had sports suspension. Great car. Loved it, but as MX5s do, it rusted away. I could have fixed it, but to fix the rust alone, it was that bad. It was $2,000, and because it had a body kit, the body kit was hiding all of the rust.
Yeah.
So I could have saved it, but it wasn't viable. It's like I paid, $2,000 is what I paid for the car in the first place.
Yeah.
So I've scrapped it. That's now up in the, scrapyard in the sky, so to speak. And I bought my Mark 1 MX5, which I still have, and touch wood.
Because didn't you originally want a Mark 1, didn't you?
I wanted a Mark 1, but originally I couldn't find a good one in my budget. I could have got one in budget, but I would have been a bit of a dog.
So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, wasn't it, really? Getting the Mark 2 first and then getting the MX1.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because amongst MX5 owners, it is kind of renowned that the Mark 2 and the Mark 2.5 are actually worse for rust than the Mark 1. Which you think's weird because you think surely.
But it's because obviously it's an import, isn't it?
No. The Mark 1 was sold in the UK, but my one is imported, so obviously it has got less rust because it spent
Because the Mark ones that are imported, they're Unos, is that?
Yes.
That's basically a code word for them being JDM almost.
Yeah, because back in the day, Unos was kind of a sub-brand of Mazda back in Japan.
Right.
But then a few years...
Because of course, because the badge is signified Unos, isn't it? It's not a Mazda badge.
No, exactly.
Oh, sounds because I never knew why that was the case until now.
Yeah, because Unos was a sub-brand of Mazda, which kind of it wasn't disbanded, but it's kind of dropped in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must have been late 90s, maybe early 90s. I don't know when specifically.
Yeah. Because was the Unos what kicked off the MX5, and then they made the MX5 all around the world? Is that what happened?
No, it just happened to be at the same time. So it was launched in 1989. It was sold here as the Mazda MX5. Of course, in America, it was sold as the Miata. And obviously in Japan, it was sold as the Roadster. I think even now it's still called the Roadster, but it's the Mazda Roadster. So if you play Gran Turismo,
Roadster.
If you buy the MX5 on there, it's called the Mazda Roadster, not the MX5. But it's interesting how it doesn't get called a Roadster over here. It gets called the MX5.
Yeah. That's your car. That's your car history today, isn't it?
My car history is quite short because I passed at 21, whereas Chris passed at 17. So how many cars have you gone through?
So 106.
It's having to count, so it's a few.
Polo, 2 Polos, Fiesta.
So what did you have after the Fiesta?
The RS.
Oh, imagine, what a jump! Fiesta Z-Tech S and Ford Focus RS.
Yeah, so it's funny that. So it was a period where after I sold the Fiesta, my now fiance, had a Fiesta ST, Fiesta 180, and she did loads of stuff to it, including Perron hybrid turbo. Thing was like 280 brake when it was finished. So it was quite
280.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was quite a tasty car to drive. So ended up just living with that thing for a while. She gave me the keys to it every so often. I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go.
And that's why you got engaged to her?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I'm only joking. But yeah. So so then the RS, they announced the RS and I put my name down straight away on it. So
why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So
the RS is a fantastic
It was
car.
quite an experience owning that thing. Well, when I bought it, that's when I launched PocketRockets. So that was what launched PocketRockets, me buying the RS. And I didn't actually do anything with it really content-wise, which was a shame now thinking about it.
Yeah, but that would have got you quite a few views.
Yeah. So during my ownership, the first year or so of it, I did about 15,000 miles in the thing. It was insane.
Well, in 1 year?
Yeah.
Blimey.
So it was far from a garage.
Scotland and back.
Pretty much, yeah. Did European rallies in it. All sorts. It did loads of track days as well. It did Nurburgring, it did Silverstone, it did Snetterton.
I didn't know you took it to the Nurburgring.
Yeah, took it to Nurburgring. So went on Rico Rally. One of the European trips ended at the Nurburgring, which is quite good because a lot of European rallies, digressing a bit, do track days in the middle of it. In the middle of the rally, so you go from the UK, work your way through France or whatever, and then they might go, we'll go Spa, and then finish the journey in like Monaco or wherever it is. And the guys at Rico Rally said, well, if you did a track day halfway through your holiday, and then the car decided to shit itself or whatever happens, then you've lost the rest of the... Yeah, exactly. Whereas at the end of it, you can go and do Nurburgring. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's lovely there. You don't have to go... I mean, when people go to the Nurburgring, they're going there to experience the Nordschleife or the GP track, but it's the kind of place that...
What's it like to drive the Nurburgring? So I've never done it. I think I want to do it for my 30th birthday, which will be next year.
It's a special place. I mean, no matter what...
30 next year?
Yeah, no matter what people say about it, no matter how many people talk about like the experience, their experience of it.
You have to go and do it for yourself.
Yeah, because it's just always different. Like everyone there's lovely. Like there's no one. Like when you go there, there's no one. Everyone's like-minded. Even like the local residents, they live there. They know what it's like. Yeah. So, but yeah, everyone there is lovely. Welcome arms. You can eat so much food there. So many restaurants. It's just unreal. But yeah, as I said, when you go there, people go there to do the Nordschleife, but you don't have to necessarily do it because it's just such a lovely place. Yeah. And in respect to the rally was we were just finishing in Germany, so it just happened. Nurburgring happened to be there, so they planned it in. So some people did it, some people didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, but definitely recommend it. It's one of those places that you have to respect though. It's not when people go to UK track days and they go absolutely mad, like if they time or if they don't time, people tend to take liberties on tracks.
Yeah.
But you can't do it there. You just can't.
The thing is, it's a tight circuit, isn't it? And
it's not even about like the barriers. Like if you crash into a barrier, you get taken to a little room and you have to give over your credit cards and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just insane. I think there's something you have to go over to Misha's channel because he talks about the cost of everything. So if you did anything on there, you get, I think it's like €500 per of the barrier. So it's like a long strip of like about 1.5 meters. And then there's 3 of them. So it's 500 for each one. So if you hit one, you're inevitably going to hit all 3 of them.
Of course you are, yeah.
So it's like €1,500. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then you get the truck that picks you up, they charge you for that, 300. And then they charge you for the time it's closed. So if you, say, did something at the beginning of tourist fine, which is called TF for short, if you crashed then, and then they couldn't open it for the next 1.5 hours because it's only 2 hours long, you'd have to then pay. They'd work out how much money they've lost from the time you've crashed to the end of the session. So it's just crazy.
That is crazy.
So it's just one of those places you have to respect.
Yeah.
And no doubt when you go, the first ever lap you'll do it won't be slow.
It's going to be tentative,
yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it has to be.
And I mean, people go, I went on Gran Turismo and I learned it. I've been on it for about 20 hours of Gran Turismo. As soon as you get
Not
there,
the same.
As soon as you get there, you get an undulation or you get like a little bit of a hump and it sends you off a bit. And you're like, I didn't know that was on.
You wouldn't get that in the game.
So no, it's definitely a place that everyone should go. If you're a remote car guy or whatever you do in terms of cars and you even like cars in the slightest, you have to go. Yeah, you do have to go. So, but yeah, so I was driving around Rebecca's ST for a while, my fiance. Obviously the RS came up and then took the plunge and put money down on it and waited like 9 months for it. It was insane. Yeah, it's like the longest time ever. Yeah, because there was delays from the factory. So yeah, and that caused loads of stuff, and then there was things that happened on press releases with like the differentials. I don't know if you ever heard about it. They did a press day in Valencia, and they took about 20 cars out there, and about 18 of them, only 2 of them came back. No. Yeah, because all the diffs were overheating or something like that, and that was just the start of it. Yeah. And then obviously there was the engine problems. Yeah. So I think it was nearer to the end of my ownership of it. I ended up having engine problems, and it was the typical. You had the smoke coming out the back. And good friend of ours, Gary, he done a video on it. So he actually shows the smoke. It's like bellows of white smoke that come out of it. Yeah. So that's basically coolant's got into the block. Yeah. From where the block's cracked, coolant's got in and it's burning off.
Well, I saw Gary's video, and as some smoke came out the back. I thought there's a new Pope or something. Yeah. Just blimey, wow. Or I tell you what it's like. Remember Stars in Their Rise? Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be.
It fills the room. Yeah. So that was a nightmare in itself because I took it because I had quite good dealings with Mountain at the time because my fiance actually worked there. So the guys knew about it, and when I went to the Ford dealer because obviously I was getting it done under warranty, they were going, no, it's nothing wrong with the car, it's fine. And I went back about 3 or 4 times, and it just got ridiculous at that point. Yeah. So they went, we're going to send someone down from Dunton, someone that works on the RS development team. We'll bring them down, and they'll have a look at it. And before that, I took it to my local garage, Shepherd Motors, and they were undoing the spark plugs, and one of them was like seized on. And what happens is if you can't get a spark plug out, never take it out because you basically thread the whole block. So literally went like that, turned it and went, I ain't turning anymore. That's it. You literally got to take it to Ford now. That is done. So it's basically where coolant's got in and it's like seized the spark plug together. So I took it back and they went, we're going to get someone from Dunton to come over from the RS development team to have a look. So they called me back about 2 hours later. We're having trouble getting the spark plug out. Give us about a few hours, let the engine cool, and then we'll let you know what happens. Call me back, we've got to get you a new engine. I was like, after all that. So that was a little bit of a disappointing thing to happen. It kind of ruined the whole ownership of it. So after that, I just got rid of it. To be fair, and that was annoying because I lost a lot of money on it. I made some because I financed it, so I was in positive equity.
Yeah.
I put a lot down on deposit, so I didn't get as much money as I should have done.
Yeah.
I think it was because of the engine problem. So it literally turned off people. Because what happened was, I got the engine replaced before they did the massive recall with the actual issue itself. Because they addressed it, didn't they? They did because they did something with.
Wasn't the issue because it had the
gasket or something from the Mustang?
Yeah, that's right.
So I had mine done before any of that. When the recall then happened, then when people were selling them online, they were going, I've had it done, I've had the recall done, whereas really people were kind of not really believing if Ford were doing it or not at that point when I had it done.
So do you know how the new Focus ST has got a 2.3 litre engine? I wonder if that will have any problems.
So yeah, it's using the same engine from the RS. So that's where it's from.
But it's obviously
not
detuned.
It'd be stupid for them to be having any problems with it now.
Well, you'd hope.
But there was something I read about that in America they used those engines, and they were bad engines apparently. They used them in America, like in the Mustang, some old school Mustang or whatever it was. So the engines were known to be problems. So I never knew why they used it in the first place. But not really going to believe that article I read.
It's weird because the EcoBoost engine, I'm a big fan of it, but I know whenever I've reviewed Fords, people do comment, EcoBoost, EcoBoom, or engines are made of chocolate, and I do know there are a lot of owners that have had problems.
Because it's the same. It's the same with the 1 litres as well.
Yeah, the 1 litres have been known to go bang.
Yeah,
it's a shame because they are great engines. It's one engine of the 1 litres, one engine of the year, 6 years in a row, I think. But for whatever reason. Yeah. Some of them just aren't.
I think it's more from because Shepherd Motors do a lot of work on them, and every single time one comes in for work, it's because the head's done or whatever happens.
Yeah. And
it's more down to the fact that people use bad fuel.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it's if people use like normal 97, they're more
like 95.
Like even though they say 95, sorry, yeah. Even if they say this car's can take a minimum of it. It's not actually necessarily a good thing to use it.
Yeah.
So, because it's quite a highly strung engine. It's a small engine. So, that's kind of what it relates to with those problems. So, that was the thing about. So after the RS, I sold it. I said to myself, I'm never going to buy a car that has a newly built engine that you've never seen on the market before. For those very problems, and then obviously, you go, well, hold on a minute, why have you just put an allocation down for a ST? Again, the ST engine's relatively new.
The 1.5 engine, the 1.5.
I mean, they made diesel versions of it, but obviously that's different in some ways.
Yeah.
But I mean, how long has the ST been out for now? It's been over a year now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a year now. Yeah. So to my knowledge, there's been no horror stories yet.
And if there was, you'd know about it.
Yeah.
Like the RS.
But it's weird that I've only started to see them on a more regular basis now. Quite interesting. A lot of the STs I see are the Silver Fox.
Yeah. It's a nice colour.
It's a nice colour actually. Yeah.
That's the like the tinge. It looks like a white, but it's not. It's like a tinge. Well, is that the right one?
Yeah. Well, to me, it looks very similar to the Storm Grey on the ST200.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit lighter. Yeah. I really like the colour, but if I were to get an ST, I'd get the.
I've been seeing more performance blue.
Yeah, I love the performance blue.
Yeah. I saw one red one, but
interestingly, before the car was actually officially launched, that blue was actually called something else. What was it called?
Not liquid blue like the RS, or was it?
I think it was called liquid blue. Yeah. So that on the very first press release, the colour quoted wasn't performance blue. I think it was liquid blue, or something tells me it may have been velocity blue. But either way, it wasn't dubbed that, which is odd. It's interesting how Ford changed the name of it.
I know.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think it was liquid blue.
So and so after the RS, I then went completely dark and went to an EP3. God knows where that come from. Yeah. Just was talking to a few people, again, Shepherd Motors, and I wanted something that I could use on track. So the whole idea was that when I bought the RS, I used it quite a bit on track.
Just put this camera back on, buddy.
God, you and your technology.
Well, I don't have like super fancy, expensive cameras like you.
So yeah, it was when I bought the RS, I used it quite a bit on track, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm taking liberties here, where I'm using a normal road car that hasn't really got much.
The RS is a heavy car.
Yeah, but considering it being a heavy car, it was such a good track car.
I imagine it.
More so on road. Like, I'll stand to this by day and say that the RS is more of a track car than it is as a road car.
Particularly when you think about its ride, because
and
I love the Focus RS, but even in its most docile driving setting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your Poe going down the road.
And
that was a big problem, but it was more of the fact that it didn't have a roll cage, it didn't have certain things.
Yeah, of course.
So I was looking at certain things, but it always came back down to the EP3s, and obviously Shepherd Motors, their son, he raced in Civic Cup, took the championship outright, so they knew how to develop it with like doing camber and all sorts of stuff. So I thought, well, they're quite reasonably cheap, and for what they are, they're pretty good cars in terms of reliability.
Well, yeah, they're bulletproof, really.
Yeah, so ended up finding one quite local to me. I still speak to the guy every now and again, and that's how I met a photographer that helps me, Dom. You've met Dom.
Yeah, I've met Dom.
So yeah, then I just went absolutely mad, stripped the thing, put a cage in it. You've been in it.
Yeah.
There's a video actually. It's done pretty well.
Yeah,
like 20,000 views now. That video.
No, hasn't it?
Yeah, your view. Yeah. So yeah,
well,
it's pretty good. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link in this screen for your video. It's pretty good. That was your video, not my video. Your video. When you experienced Civic Type R for the first time.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the track one.
No.
But that video did do well.
Yeah,
because I wasn't really expecting it to get much hit, but I think it must have got shared on a forum or something, because it did get quite a lot of views, and that was quite a popular video. And
considering the way we filmed it in Croydon, and all the things as well.
We filmed it in Croydon because it's kind of it wasn't really a halfway point. It's more closer to me than it was you, but.
Yeah. And I was around the area.
He was in the
well.
area.
Yeah.
But that was quite good. Quite a kind of sporadic, kind of impromptu video.
Yeah.
But it did well.
Yeah.
It's good fun filming as well, especially the speed humps.
Yeah, which wasn't on video.
No.
So basically what happened was, it's on coilover, so it's pretty low as it is. And we went to this highly built up residential area, and there was massive ramps.
Yeah.
And
they weren't speed humps, they were mountains.
Yeah, literally, and ended up scraping, and it was a bit scary.
It was, yeah.
I think I left poo in my seat as well.
Yeah.
But so other than that, the EP3 is, well, apart from the ST Performance that's coming, that's my car history wrapped up.
Well, you got your beast.
What's my daily? The other Peugeot, the other crappy French car.
Yeah.
Which I haven't actually. I'm meant to be doing. I'm going to be doing a video at some point, maybe this week or next, actually revealing it.
Yeah.
So I won't say too much what it is now, because I will ruin the surprise. Because I've actually tried to keep it out of Instagram stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite fun. It's I only picked it up for like £500, so it's literally just a runaround. Yeah, you surprised you, didn't you? You're like, what's this piece of shit?
Yeah. Chris, someone's been fly tipping in your drive.
Yeah, literally. So that I've had quite an interesting car history, I have to say.
Well, yeah,
hopefully it continues.
Quite a relatively juicy one.
Yeah. So,
but no, congrats on the full performance edition. Just literally, I was not expecting that. So yeah, very surprised. And like I said, my reaction was completely genuine. None of this acting. Yeah. I'm not that sort of person, because I don't see the point.
And I think between us putting this out on the channel, I'll probably do a separate video just saying I've got an allocation for one.
I think you have to.
Yeah. Because I would actually like to.
And that'd be good content as well.
It would do.
Good content.
Yeah. So I'll be putting that up very soon. But I think we've covered a lot of stuff for the first ever episode.
We have. I don't even know how long have we been going. Oh my good God, we've been going for like over an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
For
you it is, not me.
But I don't care, because I don't have to edit.
Yeah. So
this guy does.
Yeah, we're going to try and obviously the idea of this is that we're going to have guests on. So if you guys would like to see anyone in particular, please do leave suggestions in the comments below. We'd love to hear your ideas.
It needs to be realistic, guys. It can't be like, I don't know, Salamandrian or something.
Yeah, or like Jeremy Clarkson or someone. Yeah, can't be anyone like
Chris
that.
Harris.
Yeah, which would be impossible anyway because he's tied to BBC, wouldn't it? So,
yeah.
But please do suggest people down below. Again, both me and Aaron have been speaking to people, quite a few interesting people that have actually said yes, surprisingly, which is really cool, and we do appreciate the support. But till then, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Aaron. As I said, we're looking forward to this because it's just something that we've been planning for quite a while, and it's just been something
it's finally good to get it off the ground.
Exactly right.
Get it into first gear.
As we said at the start, hopefully this leads to some success. I mean, we're just doing it for the fact that we love talking and talking about cars more specifically. Yeah. So, thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed. Again, also leave some suggestions about topics you'd like to hear.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so we've spoke about our car history and some bits about the ST and
we've digressed and
spoken bollocks as usual.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for joining us. Take care, guys. All the best.